Destiny 2. I thought I'd do a little video talking about the things that I would change to make the game better. You can agree, you can disagree. That's up to you. This is just what I think. Um, I did watch I did watch Jake's video. Old Grenada Jake. I think that's how you say it, isn't it? Grenada Jake. I did watch his video, and he was talking about all types of stuff, the exclusivity of the guns not being there anymore, etc., etc. But he did say that the only thing I didn't agree with was scrap and trials. I think that's a horrific idea. That is the best bit of the game, not to take away from the PvE side, like the raids and stuff like that. But trials is definitely the best part of the game. I don't think they scrap trials at all. I think they just put the rewards back to how they should be. Although I did sing the praises of just getting rewards for taking part kind of thing, I think, like, I got these this weekend, but I put some in my vault now, so you won't be able to see them all. But, I was getting them for losing. I didn't win that many matches this weekend. Um, Although I did sing the praises of sort of getting something for taking part, I think that is where the problem lies at the moment because, right now, if I go flawless, well, not right now because this trials isn't on. But last weekend, if I went flawless, I'd have only been doing it because I wanted to, like not because I needed anything in particular from it, because I've already got everything. I think that's where the problem lies. Going flawless should have been the best rewards, and that's the same with any part of this game right now. And I think that's what's made people feel like they're out of things to do. They feel like there's not much to do because they've already got everything from the game tier 5 for getting Guardian rank 9 and being like 350 plus power. That's when I started getting tier 5s anyway. Like I've got all different gear sets tier 5. I've not got it all on me, so it's all in my vault. But I've pretty much got everything tier 5 that you can't get from a raid. I've got like literally everything tier 5, all the stuff from the different events and all that. I've got tier 5. So complaints in that side of it, I can understand. But I'm not going to go over that whole video that I said before. But complaints from people just complaining about not being able or not feeling like they can make content because they want to make money. That's it's a whole different other side of it. But the for the people complaining like they've already got everything and they feel like there's not much to do. That's all good. I'm not talking about that guy that commented on my video. No offense to you if you are that guy, but he was saying that I think he said he was 200 or 300 power and he felt like he had nothing to do. There's no way you can say that. You can't say that. You can't have took part in every event, done a raid, grinded trials. There's no way because if you did all that, you'd be the same power as I am. And I've not even got my best gear on. It's like, do you know what I mean? And I still feel like I got stuff to do. So for me, that was a bit like you're listening to people that are um, complaining about not being able to make money from content. That's just how I see it. But you're going to have your own view. I just see that as like there's a lot of like be a wolf. You know what I mean? There's a lot of sheep. There's too many sheeple that just follow what their favorite content creator says instead of making their own decision. But anyway, I want to talk about things that I would change now about the game. Things that I would, well, let's say it like this. Everything I say from here onwards is specifically and only about competitive and trials. I think they should do a separate little mini patch to change the things that I'm going to talk about. Actually, before I do that, I do want to say that playing this game, right, as a controller player, I play controller on PC, right? I use my Xbox controller. Playing this game as a controller player is so weird. And the reason why it's weird is because when I play PvE, I've got the aim of someone, that use those devices. I've got strike pack aim, Cronus aim, whatever you want to call it, right? My gun's fucking like I'm fighting that aim assist, right? It's so good because I watched one of the missions I did back with Pasty, and I was like, no wonder that I'm fighting the aim assist. Look at it. Which is fine. That's PVE, right? Even the mouse and keyboard players need aim assist like that in PVE because that's just you're trying to blast through it. There's everything coming at you. No problem with that. But the point I'm trying to make is when I go into normal Crucible, if I play comp or if I play Iron Banner or whatever, right? I've got say let's say moderate aim assist. I can feel it. You can see it in my videos. The one where I put like the Call of Duty kill streaks over the top, like sort of just having fun with it. You can see that I've got good aim assist, right? That's there. You can tell I'm a controller player. You can see it, right? But then when I go into trials, that's like low. I don't know. I've said moderate, so I'm going to say low. So PVE is like high, normal Crucible and competitive. Like that's like moderate, and then you go into trials and that's like low sometimes there. So it's like it's there. Oh, you can have it this time for this fight. Oh no, we're not giving you it anymore. Like, do you know what I mean? And that's like I find it so hard to be consistent because I can't play Crucible in preparation for trials because that is like the only way to explain it is I feel like I'm playing three different games. That's the only way that I can explain it. I feel like I'm playing three different versions of this game. Like I'll go into comp and I'll play well, and I'm like, hell yeah, hell yeah, like I'm ready for trials this weekend. Go into trials and I just get battered. I'm shooting cardboard cutouts of people because the aim assist isn't the same. I'm not saying that I want the same aim assist that I get in Crucible in trials. I'm just saying make the Crucible aim assist the same as trials. Like, do you know what I mean? So I can get some sort of consistency going, you know. Um, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. So anyway, anything that I say here onwards, right, is specifically and only for the 3v3 game mode, competitive and trials. It is not for strikes, raids, conquest, nothing, right? Nothing at all, not Iron Banner, like nothing at all. It's specifically and only for competitive and for trials. You might not agree with this. That's whatever, right? I said in my other video about ignitions. I don't know what it is with solar on this game. I feel like the devs of this game have always had some kind of obsession with solar. Because you got to admit the solar characters are broken. The solar versions of the character, especially Warlock, the floaty Warlocks were super OP back when I used to play years and years ago, and they still are now. But with the ignitions on top, it's too much. Like on this game, I feel like there's so much taken away from the gunplay. It just gets annoying. Like sometimes I get frustrated because I just want to shoot my gun. Like, do you know what I mean? And you can proc ignitions from anything. You've got the artifact giving you the two. I can't remember what it's called. The two little balls that come off people when you're shooting with a solar weapon, and they go and damage the teammates. I just feel like there's so much going on. It does get frustrating. But of course, I know this game is about the grenades, the abilities, and the supers and that. I'm not trying to take away from that. I'm not trying to change this game into some. I'm just saying I'm firing off ideas what I think they could change. Right. So personally, I would either disable ignitions in the competitive mode, or I would um, reduce the effectiveness. I suppose you would say, like stop at procking so often. Is that the word you'd use on this game? Proc, I guess. Um, Stop at procking so often because it does get annoying. People definitely do know how to build into it. There's certain people you fight and they just get an ignition, 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 and it is annoying. Because your teammate dies, your teammate peeks the wall and dies, you die because you're next to him. That's annoying. For the ESO players that might be watching out of curiosity, I've said this before. And it's like having Vicious Death in a 3v3 competitive game mode. I can't say it without like grinning. 'Cause I think that's just so broken. And I'm not just complaining about things that I didn't use either as well, because it also happens with this Tempest Strike that I like. Sometimes I'll do my Tempest Strike on on a player in a doorway, and then I'll shoot him. And then when I shoot him, and he dies, he then immediately kills the person next to him. I think if they're both in a line and I kill them both with the initial Tempest Strike, I think that's fine. But like I say, I think the ignitions and whatever it's called of this, I think it's too much. There's too much to take away from the gunfights on this game. Um, and like I said, for the ESO players, Vicious Death in a 3v3 competitive mode, I think that's just crazy, man. That is crazy. Um, so yeah, I think they should either disable them or reduce the effectiveness of it. Um, what's the most used gun in trials right now? I don't know if it still is today actually, but it was the crafted igneous hammer. You know how I feel about that weapon, but not being able to get it. Um, and the reason why is because, like I say, the obsession with solar is people use that because you can also constantly pretty much have up radiance. Um, again, the obsession with solar. Um, What else did I want to say? Yeah, for Strand, I think that Fredlings, Fredlings are too broken. Um, you know, say you do a little peek out, right? You do a little peek out, you're in a fight with someone. They take 3/4 of your health. You pop back in and think, oh, I'm gonna have to wait to regen now. Nope, because they've spawned a Fredling, and that Fredling instantly kills you. Just, and then you've got say you're in a long range fight with someone, right? And you damage them, and they go behind cover. Say they're on a warlock, a Strand warlock, right? They go behind cover. You then start shooting at someone else, but that warlock puts down a rift, right, and spawns four Fredlings on a full Fredling build. Um, and you don't notice the Fredlings coming, you're dead instantly from them Fredlings. Like I say, I think it's too much. And then Fredlings will come across the map, but if you don't see them, you're dead. Of course, you can jump in the air and avoid them, or you can just shoot them. But if you don't see them, you're dead. I think it's some things. I'm not saying disable Fredlings. I'm saying maybe just tone the damage down a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It's too broken, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. You do not have to agree. Um, I think that's a bit too much. Also, with Arc Titans, the Titan punch has to go. That has to be, even with this at 200, that needs to be. So that if you use it, you put someone to, like, unless they've already been damaged. If you Titan punch, you put someone to 1 HP, like a sliver. Literally 1 HP. So that you have to do something else. Maybe punch them again, or shoot your gun, or something. Because what people are doing is 1, 2, 3, killing an entire enemy team by sucking themselves 5 meters into someone, hitting them once they die. They look at the next person, suck themselves 5 meters into them, hit them once they die, suck themselves 5 meters into the next person, hitting them once and they die. That is too broken. That's way too broken. That needs to be not completely killed. Like I say, they need to make it so that unless someone is, if someone's half health and they get Titan punched, they should die. But yeah, just 1, 2, 3 full health characters just punching people like nah. That's just absolutely ridiculous. I don't play low health either. Like I'm 130. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm super low. Um, but yeah, getting just tapped like that is that's too much. Obviously, my teammates do it as well. Like I always laugh when they do it. I hate it personally, but I always laugh when they do it to people, like one after the other, because I'm sick of it happening to me. Um, Is that everything? You already know how I feel about the shield. And like I say, I'm not just complaining about things that I don't use. I don't use Titan at the moment because I can't be bothered to get prismatic on it. But maybe I will at some point. And like I say, even the throwing knives on the hunter, I tried that for a bit. That was fun, but that's too broken as well. Like they need to be nerfed. Not killed, toned down is the word. Not nerfed, not killed. toned down just a little bit so that people have to use their guns a bit more, I know they did do, didn't they did do some kind of change, didn't they? Because I keep trying to do my Tempest strike and I can't because it won't let me melee or something like that. And I keep sliding and then meleeing, but not doing the Tempest strike. So I know they did change something with the shotties, didn't they, or something? So you can't melee instantly or something like that afterwards. Um, Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just made that up. I'm pretty sure that was the case because that keeps happening to me. I keep like sliding and punching, but not doing the Tempest strike now. Um, so coming off that, I've waffled on enough there. I don't want this to last forever and ever, but I've got a few more things I want to say. So, supers. There's only two, and you know what ones they are. They are the defensive ones. The Warlock, well, you do not need that in a 3v3 competitive game mode, and the Ward of Dawn, you do not need that in a 3v3 competitive game mode. Simple solution, just disable them. If people come in with those ultimates equipped, just change it to something else. There is in each subclass there is free ults, so it's not like they won't be able to use anything and it'll be the end of the world. I think they should be disabled because it is cheesy. People hard rely on it. Almost every match you play, a warlock is putting a well, or a titan is putting a ward. Is it called the Ward of Dawn? I'm pretty sure it is. The bubble dome thing, where they get weapons of light. Obviously, the weapons of light is not the problem; it's the bubble. Being able to do that on the point, I think, is just absolute silliness. And it's not. It's not foolproof because you can kill people, but I have this weekend. I won a match because me and my teammate died, and my last teammate put it on the flag, and because the enemies were at range, he killed all three of them and won the match. That's when it's a problem when people are at range because they can't get the damage on you to kill you. But it's not like I say, it's not foolproof because the weekend before Iron Banner was at Rusted Lands. Me and my teammate were running towards the flag because the enemy team were on it, and they popped a well, and we didn't even come to each other. We just instinctively both chucked a nade at the same time. I popped out and did my Tempest strike, and then we both started shotting, and we managed to win that fight when they had the well down. But that's not always the case, and the majority of the time you do lose, and I think that is super cheesy. The same with the is it the Ward? I think it's called the Ward of Dawn. I might be wrong, so I haven't really played Titan this time, and I'm just going off a very old memory. But yeah, that's annoying as well, obviously, because you have to get in close to be able to kill them when they're standing inside it, and they can just pop out and Titan punch it or shot you. And yeah, it's just I see that as cheesy. You might not agree. All good. Um, I don't think that's like a bad thing to say anyway, because people shouldn't want to be defensive. They should want to be aggressive in trials, like and comp. You know what I mean? Whereas competitive, um, I don't see putting a warlock well down and standing in that competitive. I don't see where the competitiveness is in that. Um, that's it for that though. I've waffled on enough there. Now I want to talk about weapons. There's only two. Don't panic. It's not a massive major deal. Um, These are a serious problem, these sidearms on this game, which we will get to in a minute. But right now, I want to talk about this weapon. I don't think you need this in a competitive game mode in a 3v3. You hold down a trigger, you mark a target, and when you let go of the trigger, the bullets follow them, even if they go round a corner. Not if they go round a U-turn, but if say you're peeking someone, right? Say that's using this weapon, you're peeking them, you pop out. They manage to mark you, right? You go back, say you're just standing behind a box. Then bullets are coming around that corner and they are killing you. That's stupid. And this needs to be disabled just for the 3v3, like a little separate patch. All these things I'm saying, I'm just talking about only the 3v3 modes, competitive modes. Just a little separate patch, disabled, can't use it. On top of that, with the catalyst, the marked targets that you hit, you get increased damage against, and it refunds the ammo. It's just broken. It's fun to use. Don't get me wrong. I remember using this on Xbox when it first came out. It's fun to use, but I just think in a 3v3, it's cancer. People start floating in the air on warlocks doing it, and that it is just so annoying to like to deal with because they don't have to aim. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like they just have to look at you for a second with the trigger held, and then that's it. The bullets are following you, and they are killing you, and that is stupid in my opinion. Um, the last one for weapons is this specific glaive. I'm not a fan of glaives really anyway, but I know that, when people get close to you, they have to like hit you twice with them if they ain't got the ammo. And people aren't doing that. There's definitely some bug, glitch, exploit, cheat, whatever you want to say with these 100%. Multiple weekends now, people have been using this, and they just run up, one tap me, then one tap both my teammates, and win the round at the start of a match with a heavy ammo weapon. There was clearly some type of glitch, bug, or exploit with this, and I think it's stupid. Just disable it. I say I might be wrong. Maybe that's normal for this weapon, but I'm pretty sure that it isn't. And even the special ammo ones as well. Same thing where they just one tap you. I've seen genuine, legit players use them when they got no ammo, and they do have to hit you twice to kill you. But people are just running around one tapping at all times. And yeah, like I said, in my opinion, that's just another thing that takes away from the gunfights with that bug, glitch, exploit, or cheat on top. I think I say just disable them. Other people might think otherwise. Some people might love them or whatever. That's fine. I'm just firing off ideas. Um, Now let's talk about not much more. Don't worry if you made it this far, you're a hero. This, well, all sidearms, but this one in particular. Just a problem. When people start losing matches, they immediately pull them out. Some people only use these. That's how you know these are a serious problem. There's people that I come against that I've played each weekend, and they only use these, nothing else, no other weapon. They only use these because they are that good. They are too broken. You know, whether it be device users or not, right? That's not what we're saying here. What we're talking about is, right, if you give a mouse and keyboard player 90 aim assistance on a pistol, you are doing it to yourself. Right? This needs to go down to 20 or 30. This is way too good. You got the perks on the guns already. You don't need this stat to be this high. This is way too good. 100% has to be changed. People are totally relying on these, and I think that's just ridiculous. Should they be good? Yes, don't get me wrong, they would still be good. If this wasn't 90, they would still be good. But because it is 90, they're too good. Like I said, if you give a mouse and keyboard player, just an average mouse and keyboard player, 90 aim assistance on a pistol, they are going to kill everyone. And they really do. I'm not joking. They 1, 2, 3, kill an entire team. This weekend, me and my teammate kept getting angled out. If anyone has ever played Gears, in ranked and got like to like Onyx or whatever, that's when people start doing the old what do they call it on there? They call it crossing, don't they? Where they overlap the fire with the lancers. This team was really good at doing that to me and my teammate. We just couldn't move. We couldn't move on the map. We couldn't do anything. We just kept dying. But our teammate won us the match every single round by headshotting the entire enemy team. 1, 2, 3, one after the other, all head, because he was using this weapon. That is too broken. That is way too broken. Like I say, whether that be cheats or not, or just whatever. Um, Regardless, this needs to be put down a lot. Literally to 30. This is way too good. Way too good. Um, Now I want to talk about the guns as a whole. This is the last thing that I'm going to say. The very last thing. And I think personally, the biggest problem on this game right now is hand cannons. What can they do to change it? I think personally, like I say, a little separate. I don't know how hard it would be. I keep saying a little separate mini patch. I don't know how much time that would take for them to do that or whatever. But I mean, I would literally just set it so every gun, no matter what the range is, as getting changed. If it's in your inventory in comp or trials, instant changes. No matter what the stat says on the gun, it is instantly locked to a specific range. Why am I saying this? Because everyone is using hand cannons and hand cannons only. It's getting boring. I've only been playing this short time, No wonder. You know what I mean? No wonder like people like Jake and that are quitting the game. Well, not quitting the game, but taking a break from trials. Like, no wonder. I don't know how he's played in that long. Like, Jesus Christ. Um, that was one of Pasty's first complaints to me. That was the first thing that he said to me, like his first actual like negative comment on this game when we were playing was hand cannons. He was like, the hand cannons are just a joke. You don't need to use anything else, and he was right. Um, for example, right now, you can pause this video after you hear me say this, go and type in YouTube and type in trials and go and look at the first three people that you see playing this game and then come back and comment what guns they use in the comment section. And I guarantee you the majority of the comments will say hand cannon. Right? Because and that will probably be the crafted igneous hammer. Again, because of the obsession with solar um, and being able to get radiance and all the other benefits from using a solar weapon. Um, but the majority of it is hand cannons, and the reason why is because they are broken. They are really good at up close. They're really good at mid range, and they're really good at sniper range. Like, let me give you an example, right? This is something that I bought from a vendor. Like you can see, I've barely used it, right? It's got rangefinder and it's got multi kill clip on it, and it's got 80 81 range. I have got this little mod on it though. That's just range and stability. Look, but it's got 81 range on it, right? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at my scout rifle here, right? It's got 59. Of course, you can get a better roll, right? My exotic Cloud Strike sniper rifle, 60. You see? That's why there's no variation in the guns people use because everyone just, why would you need to use anything else other than a hand cannon? You don't need to. Hand cannon is an everything weapon. Everything. It does everything. Why would you need to use any other gun? It's too good. That's why I think they should do a little separate mini patch where they say, right, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what role is on your gun in your inventory, when you enter comp or trials, as changing to a fixed stat. Just for range, nothing else. The rest of your gun is fine. You know, with the tier fives now, you can just change your thing to something else if you've got rangefinder or whatever. Um, and that they should do it like what snipers are now going to be in competitive and trials. They're going to be 100 range. Scout rifles, scout rifles are now going to be 80 to 90 range. Assault rifles and pulse rifles are now going to be 60 to 70 range. Fusion rifles, submachine guns, and hand cannons are now going to be 50 to 60 range max. Right? Maybe less than that. 40. Yeah, no, we'll say 50 to 60 range, right? And then shotguns and sidearms are now going to be 30 to 40 range. What will that do? Immediately change the way people play this game. You've seen the way that I play this game, right? I started to catch on to the hand cannon thing. I wanted to learn the hand cannon and get semi decent with it, so I started using the hand cannon on every map, every weekend on trials, and um, still did all right. Not the best player, you know what I mean? I didn't come on here expecting to be a god. I came on here expecting to get my ass kicked, but do a bit of ass kicking, right? And you've seen I've managed to go flawless on almost every map that I've played from only using a hand cannon, not swap and gun, not because there's a long lane that I might need to use a sniper, or maybe I should use a scout rifle. No need. Why would I need it? I can just use a hand cannon for everything. Do you see what I'm saying? There's no variation in the game. If you try and swap and use something else, you just get dicked the entire time by hand cannons because they do so much damage, and you know you can snipe people with them. It's too broken. Um, I'm not saying people don't use other guns. I see people using scout rifles and things like that as well. You know what I mean, and whatever. But you know, the majority of the people you fight, and most of the time when I'm playing, I feel like I have to use a hand cannon because I'm constantly fighting against them. Do you see? It should be where there's a map and you're like, right, that's a different map this weekend. I have to use a scout rifle or I'm going to lose the fights. A scout rifle or a sniper, you know, or maybe it's like mid, so I'll use a Pulsey or an AR, depending on whether you want a more stable shot. You'll use the Pulsey, whatever, But and if it's really close range, you might think, oh, I use an SMG, a hand cannon, and like a shotty, or this, But because of the way it sits at the minute, there's not really any need to use a variation of weapons. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, what's the guy's name that done the throw a knife build? Is it Frostbolt? The Frostbolt, yeah, the Frostbolt guy. Um, I watched one of his videos the other day, and I actually respect that. He was doing the RAN dim trials, using the dim app and getting like making it give him generate like a random loadout for him to use. I thought that was pretty cool because he's using different guns and stuff, guns that he probably wouldn't usually use. Um, and hats off to him, because you've got to fight these sweat lords with hand cannons the whole time. But I think they could look at that. Whether they, I'm not saying they're going to straight copy something I said, but I think they could look at it and maybe change something. I think they should just do it like that. They've just like if you enter, competitive or trials, there's a different patch, little mini patch for it, and that changes the range on your weapons so that you have to if you're playing different maps, you have to swap gun or you'll just die. Because you'll be trying to hand cannon at someone at range and they'll just snipe you or scout at you. Like, do you know what I mean? Because your gun won't reach. That's how it should be. That's what most games are like. You know what I mean? Like I say, I'm not trying to turn this into any other game, and the things I've said are, just because I think it would better the game. Like that guy's video that I watched when they were talking about doing a hardware mode. They could just simplify it and do that, but if not, I think they should just like pick a little things and change some things so they're not so broken. Make people use the guns more and make every gun more viable for certain situations. Because at the minute, as it sits, it's just hand cannons are an everything gun, so people just use hand cannons. I weren't a fan of these either. But now I am. I love these, but I even think these are a little bit too broken. These probably do need a tiny, not nerf, but just they need to be just toned down a little bit. And then that'll make the game more bearable, and people. I think that will keep people engaged more. Um, it's just the loot, and that's all it is. At the problem. The problem at the minute is the loot. It's too easy to get now. It's like they've made it too casual with the loot. Which can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. The people that ain't got the time to play can still get fat loot, I guess. Um, but I don't know. I'll leave it there anyway. I've been waffling on. The one thing I do think is the best thing so far, after playing it for like a long time now, is the armor sets. I think the armor sets are a cool little addition to the game. I just wish they had some more crazy things on them. But that is what it is. I'll leave it there and I'll catch you in the next one. Feel free to drop a comment, whatever. Catch you in the next one.